And I think you all know now that the JCC Buffalo brings this on for us. And so I'm so happy to see people from all around the country and sometimes world who join us. Today, in this beginner, intermediate, and advanced class, the only thing that we need is a strap, or you can have a belt or a towel, a necktie. Nobody's going into the office, so we may have some neckties lying around the house. What I'd like you to do is listen to your bodies, and knowing that this is a beginner, intermediate, and advanced class, don't let your ego get in the way. Stop where you need to stop. Nobody's looking, nobody's judging. The only corrections I'll make is if I see somebody who looks like they're in jeopardy of hurting themselves, but that's actually kind of hard to do with all the little squares. Otherwise, nobody is looking at what you're doing, so stop on the level 1 move if you want to. If you feel that that level 1 move is too simple, go to the level 2. Push yourself to the level 3 if you want to. If you find that the level 3 move is just right for you, if that's your Goldilocks spot, then meet us on Fridays at 11:15, where we'll do a lot more of a 45-minute level 3s and we'll go faster. So that said, let's get started. We're starting off, I have to have my mat just square. All right, we're starting off with our feet hip width apart. And when I say hip width, it's our hip bones, not our silhouette hips. So our hip bones, there's only about 4 to 5 inches between my feet. They're relatively narrow, so my feet are lined up with my knees are lined up with my hips. The first thing I'd like us to do today is find our lower abdominals. So as I lean back, I start to tuck my pelvis under. We're not doing the rolling up, rolling down like we normally do. We are hanging out here, friends, for just a little bit, because below my belly button and above my pubic bone is the first muscle that we work in Pilates, which is the transverse abdominis. And it wraps all the way around like a corset. And those are, when people talk about the muffin top, I kind of said it quietly, I don't like that phrase. That's what we're talking about there. Let's come up for just a second. The second part of our core that we're working in every class is the rectus abdominis. Let's come back down, see if we can find that. The rectus abdominis is a little higher. That's our 6-pack. So this is a little bit of a tutorial, but we're connecting our minds with transverse rectus. Now, let's rotate a little bit over to the left. Feel that muscle here. Now we're working the oblique. See if you can find it with your mind. Let's rotate away to the right side. We've got the oblique here. Let's come back to center. Come down just a little bit lower and see if you can find your low back. This will be the hardest one to find in this position, but we'll find it when we flip over. And now let's just come all the way down. Ooh, that was a lot of talking. All right, we're going to start off a little differently today. We're placing our right hand on our belly and our left hand on our chest. And just breathing. Find a comfortable place to put your feet. Knees are aimed up towards the ceiling. All I want us to do right now, the first principle of Pilates is breathing. And all I want us to do right now is on the inhale, see if we can move the belly hand and allow the chest hand to be quiet. So chest hand doesn't move. On the inhale, the belly hand rises. And on the exhale, the belly hand falls. As you continue to rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale, know that you're turning on your parasympathetic nervous system and you're sending the message to the brain that all is well. And what the brain is then doing is it's not sending out cortisol to deposit fat around our bellies. That would be the sympathetic nervous system. It's preparing us to fight or flight. So inhale, let the belly hand rise. As we exhale, let the belly fall, and now let's draw our abdominals in as we take our hands by our sides and take one leg to a tabletop and then the other. From here, let's squeeze a little penny between our knees and our ankles. we're going for a double leg femur arc. So as we inhale, we arc our femur bones down, and as we exhale, we bring the knees up. They stop right over our hips. This is level 1. Inhale, tap the toes, and exhale, come up. A common mistake for this one is people will bend at the knee. So yes, our knees are bent, but they are maintaining their shape the whole time. My knee isn't actually moving, it's only moving in space. I'm moving through my hips, hip joint. Inhaling down and exhaling up. One more level 1. Your toes barely touch the water below on the inhale, and on the exhale, they lift, stopping right over hips. Now flex the feet. Take your legs halfway out for level 2. Tap the heels down, and then come back to that 90 degrees. So the knees never migrate close to your chest. They're not trying to come in. Otherwise, you're using your hip flexors, and we want to use our transverse abdominis. Notice that the level 2 move is a little harder, and tell yourself you may need to go back to level 1. One more like this, and let's pay attention to our shoulders, making sure that our shoulders are down and away from our ears. And let's go to level 3. We're back to pointing our toes for level 3. Straighten the legs all the way out. They stop at 45-degree angles, and then lower down. Tap the heels, lift back up to 45 degrees, and bend the legs to 90. You didn't know we were in geometry class. Out to 45 and lower. This is all an inhale. As we lift up, it's the exhale that helps us. Now instead of stopping, let's flow it so it flows out, dips down. The legs float back up and bend in. Trying to keep our low backs close to the mat, but they may not stay imprinted the whole time. Pick level 1, 2, or 3, and let's go for 2 more heel taps, 2, or it could be 2 more toe dips. Here's your last heel or toe. Lower. Let's hug our knees in, rock side to side. We're setting up for our 100, and then we're doing our series of 5. 1 second here. All right, our 100, we start with our legs in a tabletop, arms are down by our side. Inhale. Our exhale, let's slide our hands forward. This is going to allow our head, neck, and shoulders to come up. We can leave our legs like this as we inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. This is level 1. Level 2, we go to an L shape. Let's concentrate on our breathing. With 5 inhales in and 5 exhales. Inhale. To make it harder, it starts to get into level 3. As you lower the legs down, you're going to find that if you take them too low, it gets easy again. Find the most challenging part for your legs to remain with integrity, and we're already at 80, 90, and exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the knees in. Rock side to side. If your neck is bothering you, say no with your neck. For the series of 5, you may want a pillow or a blanket, some sort of bolster under your neck if it's bothering you. So we take a break between each in our series of 5. The first 3, we start off in a little ball. Single leg stretch. Right hand to right ankle. Shoot the left leg out. My right hand is on my shin. And switch. Outside hand goes to your ankle. This is my outside hand, left hand, and right hand. So it's left hand to left ankle, right hand to right ankle. And if I'm cueing a little bit more today, guys, it's because I see about 4 new names just on this screen alone. I don't know if there are any new names on the other screen. So we're going back and forth. If you can't remember which hand goes to your ankle, you can pillow top your hands and press on your thigh. If your core isn't strong, this is going to be a little harder on your neck, but it's a definite way to find your transverse abdominis. 4, 3, single leg stretch, 2, 1, hug the knees in, inhale on the way down. I try to call out the name of every move so that you will remember the name eventually. It also is good at the end, if you have a question, you can say, what about that single leg stretch? We're going into double leg stretch. Inhale, exhale for double legs. So double legs go out, arms go behind us. Circle your arms as you bend your knees. They're simultaneous movements. Inhale and exhale. Let's get some shoulder mobility going. Notice that our shoulder blades are off of our mat. Our shoulders are lifted high the whole time. Easier if we take the legs up straight towards the ceiling. A little harder if somebody pulls us like taffy, creating a really long lever with our legs and arms. 3 more double leg stretches. 3. Scooping the belly in if we can. 2. Last 1. And roll down. Inhale. On the exhale, this is the 3rd one that we come up into a little ball. Interlacing our hands, placing them behind our head. We rotate to the right first, taking our left leg out and switch. Notice how slowly we're going. So you all know this one's called crisscross. And for crisscross, for the regulars, our elbow is aiming for the ceiling, not our knee. It's the underarm that's reaching for the opposite knee. Try the difference. Try your elbow, see where you feel that. Then try the underarm. And I bet you'll feel like your waist is twisting a little bit more if you take your underarm to the knee. Level 2, eye gaze goes down to the elbow that's reaching for the ground. So look at the elbow that's headed towards the ground with your eyes, and it makes you twist a little bit more. And we've got 4, 3, 2, last 1. And each time we inhale, rocking side to side on our spine, we're going for lower lift. Regulars know lots of different variations here. So let's see where we land today. If you are a person whose neck is bothering you, I recommend you leave it down the whole time. That's the level 1 move, but we can make it more advanced. So lower lift is the name of this one. We're in an L shape. We inhale to lower our legs, and we exhale to lift them. So we're going to make this advanced in a couple of different ways. You can lower till your heels almost touch your mat, and then exhale to lift. And we still have done nothing with our head, neck, and shoulders. If it's bothering you, leave them down. The other way to make this advanced is to imprint your low back into the mat. Keep your low back there. As soon as your low back starts to have a little gap, you exhale up, so you can't go down very far. You do not have a neutral spine anymore like you did in the first iteration. All right, you want to make it more advanced. Interlace the fingers. They're not pulling my neck. My neck is gently and my head is gently resting in those interlaced fingers. Notice I'm not taking down my legs very low because I'm keeping my low back in the mat. The most advanced are zombie arms. So my zombie arms are reaching out, head, neck, and shoulders are lifted. And my breath is helping me. For 3 more, I'm inhaling down and exhaling up. 2 more. Picking all the different levels. Last one. And I exhale for my legs to reach for the ceiling, hug my knees in, rock side to side. So that was number 4. We've got the 5th one to go. And the 5th one is called scissors. You'll notice very similar arms for scissors. So the way we start off for scissors is we inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, I shoot my right leg up and take my left leg out long. Left leg isn't touching the mat. And I switch. Let's talk about where we can hold our leg. We can hold behind the ankle. So I'll do a couple where I'm holding behind the ankle. Notice the torso isn't moving the whole time. It's stationary. I can hold behind my calf and I can hold behind my thigh. So it all depends on how much you're able to round. Your chin is into your chest. And notice the only place we're not allowed to touch is behind our knee. We want to be safe and gentle with our knees. Level 2, hands are behind the head, but my elbows are out wide. It makes it tougher to keep my scissor legs going. And level 3, my arms are back to the zombie arms. So very similar to lower lift. 4, 3, scooping my belly button into my spine. 2, 1, hugging my knees in, rocking side to side. So that's called the series of 5. From here, we're taking our arms to a V. I'll show you. This means a T when they shoot out from our shoulders. A V is at a diagonal, and our legs are in a tabletop, which means 90 degrees. So from here, let's have our ribs and our chest aim up towards the ceiling. Take your mind and connect it with your left shoulder. See if your left shoulder can stay down as you take your knees and drop them over to the right. Now let's connect our mind with our right hand and our right forearm. Let's ask them to not do very much at all. And left oblique helps us to bring our legs back to our starting position and rotate to the other side. So this is our first time that we're doing a little bit of, well, we did a tiny bit of spinal rotation in the beginning. This is our first intense spinal rotation. Right shoulder is down. Try not to use your left hand or forearm to help you. And let's pause in the middle, squeeze a penny between your knees. Left leg reaches for the ceiling. And now go over to the side again. Now that left shoulder may pop up a little. It's okay, don't take the legs over as far. Find the left oblique if you can. Legs come back to the ceiling and switch. Keep holding the penny between your knees. Inhale. Right shoulder stays down and exhale up. Now decide, or actually let's go into both legs straight, and you're not going to go over very far because that left shoulder is going to pop up. So we're doing windshield wipers now. You're going to have to use that right hand and forearm a little bit and then go to the other side. So now after we finish this one, you get to decide, do you want to go back to the first version, which was 90 degrees, the second version, which is one leg up, or the third version, which is the windmill, 2 legs up. Decide which one you want and go for 2 more on each side. This is waking up our obliques. There's a lot of instruction that happens during this class, a little less on Friday because we expect you to kind of know Pilates before jumping into that advanced class. The legs are up towards the ceiling, bend the knees, and rock side to side. We're going right into a windmill. There are a couple of different ways to do this. I suggest placing your hands below your hip, underneath your hips, but not all the way at your sacrum if you don't need to. Or I prefer the version where I'm up on my forearms. Either way is fine, and we start off doing scissors. So head, neck, and shoulders can be down or up. Let's all start with our right foot reaching towards the ceiling. It'll be easier to do windmill. So we go tick-tock, all right? So it's 1, 2. Now right leg is up. We circle out, and now our left leg is up. So we're going in a circle. 1, 2. Now circle to the outside again, and right leg is up. We'll go a little faster. Tick, tock, circle in opposite directions. It's right brain, left brain too. Tick, tock, circle. We've got 2 more. This is intense for our core. Last one. And right leg is up. Let's hug in. Rock side to side. Let's elongate. So we're going to make ourselves nice and long. Our legs are out long. And our arms are above. So we're getting ready for our roll up. We'll do levels 1, 2, and 3. If you're a regular and you know you want to go right to 3, go right to 3. If you want to do 1, 2, and 3, just be patient and we'll get there eventually. Inhale. As we exhale for level 1, the arms come all the way down to our thighs. We nod our chin to our chest. Because of the weight of our head, we do that. And then we skim our hands down our legs, reach forward, get a big stretch through the hamstrings, and then roll up one little bone at a time, stacks on top. Our hands are still on our knees, so they're down low, and they roll down our thighs. So that's our level 1 move. If that level 1 didn't work for you and you need a modification, there are several modifications. Please ask me after class. The roll up can be, level 1 again, hands to thighs. The roll up can be one of the most challenging exercises for people in Pilates. I have spoken to people who have done Pilates for years. Level 2, we're going to get to zombie arms now. Keep them parallel to ceiling and floor and roll down. People who have done Pilates for years have said, I can do it all. I just can't do the roll up. So if that's you, know that you are in good company. There's lots of people like that. Level 2 roll up. Imagine that your arms are going to end up being parallel. And notice there's no momentum at all. I'm not hoisting myself up. Big stretch. Roll up against that imaginary wall. Let's take our biceps to ears for level 3. Look at this long lever we've created, but we still don't fall. There's no little dip. It's slow and controlled. And now can we keep the biceps by ears as we roll up? Inhale. No momentum. Exhale. Keeping the feet down is tough too. And roll over. One more. Pick your poison. Level 1, 2, or 3. And we'll do one more roll up and stay up when we come up next time. So rolling down. As we come up this time, inhale. Use the exhale to help you. Flex your feet as you come up and see if you can grab the tops of your feet. If that is a no-go for you, take the sides of your legs and pull up on your legs as you try to get your belly down on your thighs. It's just a big stretch is what we're going for. From here, let's grab onto the right blade of our right foot, or the outer blade of our right foot. Right hand goes low, left hand comes on top, and I'm looking at you underneath my left underarm. So can you put both sits bones down into your mat evenly as you get this stretch? Notice how many times we go into a spinal rotation in this class, a lot. And then we're back to center, holding on to the bottom of the feet if we can. Let's keep our left hand where it is, down on the heel. Take our right hand on top, and I'm going to look away from you now so I can look under my right underarm. Both sits bones are still firmly in my mat. Back to center. Roll all the way up. We're going all classic today, so it's rolling like a ball. If you have a ball, you can place it here, one of those small Pilates balls, because it is a good prop so that you don't kick your feet out. You've got to hold the ball the whole time. I'm going to show you really fast what rolling like a ball is not. So I take my heels to my bottom and I see they're about that far apart. My my shoulders and my knees are about that far apart as well. What I don't do is I don't separate out. I keep that same distance the whole time. I'm in a little ball. I inhale, nothing changes. It's my core that's getting me back up to stop. Inhale, and as I exhale, I stop on a dime. I inhale back to my bra strap and exhale up. So my ponytail can touch, but not my head. It takes a lot of core control. If that's way too much for you to remember, think I'm going to stay in a little ball and I'm going to massage my spine. That's all I'm doing. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, here's our last one. Exhale, don't let the toes touch. Now let's take our thumbs, place them on top of our ankles. Our 4 fingers are on the bottom, and let's go for a stretch. If your core is not engaged, you're going to fall backwards, especially when we lift both legs up. But right now, we're just doing a stretch. Now we're going into open leg rocker. 2 legs. This is where your core has to be engaged or you're going to fall. Round your spine so that when you inhale back to the bra strap, you can exhale, come right back up. You stop on a dime. There's a lot of core control happening here. Open leg rocker is very similar to rolling like a ball. People either like it or they don't. And we stop at the top. Let's go into teaser. It's an easy place to get to teaser because we put our legs together, and this is teaser. It's the modified teaser. Now, can you hold your body to look like this and release one hand? Can you hold your body and release 2 hands? If you can, lower all the way down, and that's your teaser. All right. So, I'm going to teach you hollow man, and then if you can do hollow man with no problem, then I'd like you to try teaser. So hollow man, my hands are up, my palms are up. I inhale, and as I exhale, I lift my head and my heels. My eye gaze is looking down at my pubic bone, and then I lower down. Let's do one more hollow man. Hollowing the tummy, making our abs go into our core, to our spine. Inhale. And exhale. All right, so if this is no challenge for you, then come to the teaser. If it is a challenge, you just hold it and lower down. Here's our teaser. We just keep coming. Inhale. And as we exhale, low back goes into the mat as we lift. And we lift higher and we lift higher. And look, our arms and our legs are parallel to one another. Now it's just as difficult to go down, if not more difficult. And then try talking the whole time you do it. And then we smile and laugh when things get hard. Head and heels touch at the same time. Let's try to add that component in. Inhale. As we exhale, head and heels lift at the same time. It's simultaneous. Now, try to go very slow on your lower. As you lower down, see if your head and your heels can touch together. Nice. All right, from here, let's sit up. You can either just roll over. I'll just roll over. I don't need to always face that way. We're just gonna roll over and get some spinal extension before we start to work our low back. So with either hands narrow or wide, wherever you want them to be, let's just go into some spinal extension. So we move our spine in all 4 directions in every class, and we work all 4 parts of our core in every class. This is taking our spine into extension. So our 5 series, our 100, all of those, that was done in flexion. Now we're doing the opposite, extension. So I wouldn't call this an exercise, I would call this moving our spines. So that's why you get to pick. Do you want to straighten your elbows, keep your elbows bent, The third direction is rotation, which we've done a good bit of. And the fourth one, which we don't get as much in, but we do get it in every class, is lateral. That's when you move your spine like a rainbow. All right, from here, let's press up into all fours. And whenever we come to quadruped, we have wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. So if your knees are together, then they're not under your hip bones. They need to be separated to where they're right under your hip bones. And from here, let's make sure that we're in our nice spinal alignment. So notice that our cores are not, our spines are not flexed and they're not extended. They're in neutral. Tuck our toes under. We're starting with hovering knees. And the visual for the hovering knees is you place a cup of tea on your low back, inhale, and as you exhale, lift the knees up 2 inches and don't drop your cup of tea. All right, as we do this, I'm going to be talking. If you need to lower your knees down for just a second, that's fine, and then lift them right back up. As we're doing this, let's see if we can draw our belly button up on every exhale. Bring it a little bit closer to our spine. We're holding for another 5 seconds. 2 and 1, lower one knee, then the other. Take your knees out wide. Big toes are together in the back and sit back into a rest pose. Pressing your chest farther forward, get a stretch through your lats, through your shoulder girdle. And right back up. So now we're coming to the top of our mat so that we have room, especially for the tall people, that they have room and then you're not falling off of your mat there. And we still have wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We're all coming to a plank on our toes. If you know that you don't like it on your toes, come with me for half a second so I can set you up for your knees. Inhale. On your exhale, take one set of toes back. And then the other. If you know this isn't for you, leave your chest where it is, please, and just lower your knees down. Stay there. The rest of us are here. The 2 bottoms we don't want, look at yourself, we don't want the TP bottom, and we don't want the sunken in bottom. We want the straight line from shoulder to elbow, shoulder to ankle. How about that? Let's take our right hand, move it underneath our face, turn our feet, and reach up for a side plank. If you know this isn't for you, allow your bottom leg to come down or stay. If you want the level 3 move, now stack your feet. If you want the level 3 move, lift the leg up and hold. The leg comes together and we come back around. We're still in our plank. We're back down to our plank. Left hand comes right beneath our face and we turn to the other side. So level 1, drop that bottom leg. Level 2, front leg the top leg is in front of the bottom leg. Level 3, we stack the feet. And level 4, we make a star and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We lower with control back to our plank. One knee, then the other. Let's have our knees be together this time and rest. All right, there's a lot of talking in this next one. See if this makes sense. Do your best, because I'm not going to be able to tell if you're doing it or not. We're resting. Our belly is heavy onto our thighs. The inhale is the break. The inhale, you're making your belly really heavy on your thighs. On the exhale, see if you can pull your belly button up to where it's reaching for your spine so much so that you could hide an Easter egg underneath your belly button. Now on the inhale, flatten Easter egg. On the exhale, make room for it. If there's someone in your house, or even if there's not, try talking on the exhale. You sound kind of silly like I do, right? Hard to talk. And then inhale,
Squash the egg. Exhale, lift up. If you've had C-sections or even one C-section, this could actually be very difficult for you to find this specific muscle. And then flatten on the inhale. All right, just breathe regularly. From here, we're going to take our left glute, make sure that it's down on our left heel as we walk our hands over to the right. Inhale, and see if you can make the left ribs expand and go away from you. And on the exhale, the ribs come a little bit closer to your midline. Inhale. And exhale. We spider crawl our fingers back to the center. Right glute stays glued down to right heel as we move our hands all the way over to the left this time. Inhale, and my right ribs are going to reach for you all. As I inhale, they'll expand. And exhale, contract. Inhale. And exhale. Hands are back to center. So there's a lot of active breathing going on in Pilates. Let's work that fourth element that we talked about, which actually, let's go for obliques first, and then we'll go over to low back. So for our obliques, we're going to be down on our forearms. You can actually be on wrists or forearms. It's either one. And we go into a regular plank to begin with. So plank, 1 foot back, and now we're in a real plank. All right, let's see if our elbows are underneath our shoulders. They should be. And then we can make a little tiny TP bottom because we have a beach ball underneath us. Let's separate our feet, get them about as wide as our shoulders or maybe a little wider. I'm going to take my left hip and dip it down on one side of the beach ball, then lift up over the beach ball and dip the other hip down. And so we go back and forth. See if you can find where your feet can do this comfortably. And now we're working the bottom oblique, which for me is my right one, and now the bottom one, which is the left one. And by the way, we're working our shoulders. So it's a 2 for 1. And my feet feel like they're getting a nice stretch. It's over the beach ball. We've got 2 more. Here's our oblique. And the last one. Come back to center first. Allow one knee to come down and then the other. For our last oblique move, we're just doing a 3-part star today. And that's going to help us to work our obliques. We come into a plank to begin with. Inhale. Exhale, I like to take one set of toes back. Firmly plant that foot and then take the other toe. We're taking right knee to left elbow and then to the same elbow. Same side, opposite elbow, and back down. So it's just 3. It's tap 1, 2, 3. Can we do this from our knees? Sure we can. 1, 2, 3. Crossing at a diagonal, same side, diagonal. I'm going back into the plank. Crossing, same, crossing. We've got 2 more after this one. A lot of shoulder work. 1, 2, 3. And last oblique move. 3. Let's lower one knee, then the other, and rest. So that was actually obliques and low back. Let's do 2 specific low back moves and go into the next set. All right, so we're prone all the way down on our bellies. We're gonna start with, let's start with dart today. Couldn't think of a name for the second. All right, so my feet are together, touching each other on the insides, and they're down. They're not going to lift up at all. They stay down. As I inhale, I'm preparing As I exhale, push your pubic bone into the mat. Lift your chest up. Hold an apple under your chin. If I look up, oops, I've dropped my apple. Look down, hold the apple. How high can you get your chest without having your feet lift? Do you feel your low back working? And lower down. Let's add on. This time we're going to come up on the inhale. Inhale the chest up. Feet stay down. And let's start to pump our hands up towards the ceiling. Our whole straight arm is pumping up, up, up. And I'm finding my tricep with my mind. My mind is telling my triceps to do some heat, to generate some heat and do some work. 4, 3, 2, 1, lower down. Now let's take our feet, keep our heels touching one another, but our toes are aimed outward. So it's external rotation through our toes. Our hands are in a pillow top, and our forehead is glued down, getting ready for heel beats. Inhale to prepare. On the exhale, push through your pubic bone, clear your knees. Now lift your legs up so you can clear your thighs and beat, 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 beat. They're fast little beats. If you have a thin mat, this is not going to feel very good. You need a thick Pilates mat. And lower all the way down. Inhale. Exhale, because your pubic bone is pressing down on the inhale. Lift the legs up. See if you can clear your thighs as you beat, beat, beat. They're fast. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs down. Let's take them out of external rotation. Place the tops of our feet down. From here, hands are going to come right underneath our underarms. Pull your little chicken wings if your elbows are out. Pull them into your ribs. On the inhale, we're lifting up just to our top rib. I'm not trying to straighten my arms. I'm working the muscles around my thoracic back and lower down. If you don't feel that in your mid back, the first thing I'd ask you to do is draw your hands back a little bit more, making sure they're under your underarms and not your shoulders. Press through the meaty part of your hand and lift up. From here, if you don't know if you're feeling it in your mid back or low back, lift your hands up. It'll go into your low back. Put your hands back down and you'll know you're in your mid back. And lower down. This one's called chest press. And inhale to lift. This is all thoracic and low back strengthening. And lower from here, we're going to keep our knees together as we press back into a rest pose. By keeping our knees together, we're stretching out our low back. And saying the word stretch, tell us we're going into stretch. So we have hit all 4 parts of our core. We've moved our spine in 3 or 4 directions. We'll make sure we get that lateral in. All right, friends, we're gonna start off differently today. We're doing our same routine. However, we are adding always and forever now. If you weren't here for Get Stretched on Friday, you didn't do it. If you did, feedback was favorable for our new move. So we're going to start with it. All right, so our new move is a lovely one. Let's start off completely in a little ball. You can lift your head or not. Eventually, head, neck, and shoulders come down. And let's stay with our little ball over top. So, meaning our legs stay in an egg. All right, my arms are forward or towards the ceiling. Before I do any movement, let's see if we can get our shoulder blades into the mat. Palms are facing one another. Notice that from our ribs on down, they do nothing. They stay tucked in tightly. As we start to take our arms back, what we'll hit first will be our thumbs. And you can go fast or slow. I'm going to go relatively slow. Notice, does one thumb feel like it's getting down to the mat with no problem at all, and the other one might be like, oh, that doesn't feel really good. Breathe into it. I have a very different situation happening between my right arm and my left arm right now. And then we'll come back up slowly and deliberately. So that was above our head. Now, with hands right above our shoulders, we're opening out now. Backs of my hands, back of my forearms are pressed down into the floor. Low back is still pressed into my mat, and then I'm coming back up. Now you pick the speed that you'd like to go that serves your body as you go back and forth. So again, palms are facing one another. This is shoulder mobility. And the reason that we're keeping our knees in is to keep a neutral spine. That neutral spine is going to help us focus on stretching out the shoulders. When we're open in the T position and we're pressing the backs of our hands and back of our forearms into our floor, we can even feel a bicep stretch there. We're going for one more set and then getting started with our regular stretch pattern. And this won't always be this slow, but I do plan on incorporating this one in just because I think it does a whole lot of good. And as we bring the hands back together, let's lower the feet down. For just a second, let's do a puppy dog legs if you don't know that one. Our feet are on the outside of our mat and we're inverting our knees in to collapse inward towards one another. Just a little bit of a different feel before we get started. All right, bending the knees. Our feet are hip distance apart, and let's take our strap behind the ball of the right foot. We're taking 3 deep breaths in and out, and with every exhale, see if you can pull that leg just a little bit closer to your face. Our knee is as straight as it can be, but we're not locking it out, just trying to appreciate everything that's going on in the posterior or the back side of the right leg. After our third exhale, we're keeping integrity in the left knee. It doesn't move as the right leg opens up, and both hips are still aimed up towards the ceiling, but now our focus is on the inner thigh of the right leg. Find your comfortable limit with that right leg, and when you think you're there, on the exhale, see if you can pull it just a little bit closer to your ear. Just a little bit. Nice. That's it. On the exhale, the leg comes back to the ceiling. We switch hands. We slide the left leg down. The right hip comes up and over. So our hip is leaving our mat, but our right shoulder is not leaving. And this allows us to get a spinal rotation as we stretch the outer right hip and glute. And now we're trying to pull the right foot a little bit more in the direction of the left ear. Coming back to center after our third exhale. Sliding the left foot back. We're moving our strap off of the ball of the foot and onto our toes. And we're going to push and we're going to pull together. So we're doing 2 things. We're pulling our toes down using our strap, and we're pushing our heel up towards the ceiling. So on the first one that we did this, the similar stretch that we started off with, you may have felt it more in your hamstring. Now we've added the Achilles, the plantar, which just means the sole of our foot. We've added the calf, If you're just pulling the toes, you're missing the second benefit by not pushing the heel up. So make sure that you push the heel up. We're going to lose the strap for just a little bit and point and flex our foot. So it's a dorsiflex and a plantar flex, back and forth. And then let's make little circles with our ankle. And reverse the circle. From here, we can grab in the same place we did earlier. It can be, for scissors, we can do thigh, we can do calf, or we can do ankle. You can leave your head, neck, and shoulders down, or you can lift forehead to shin, knee to nose. If you do the version where you have lifted your head, neck, and shoulders, if you separate between the scapula or between the shoulder blades, you'll feel a stretch in your mid-back as well, between the shoulder blades. And as we roll down, we're crossing our right ankle over our left leg, allowing our left foot to come up so that we can interlace our fingers behind our left leg. If you can't reach, use your strap. Take your right elbow and press the right knee away. If your right elbow doesn't reach, then you can take the meaty part of your hand and press the leg away. Either way works. So I'm pushing with my elbow or my hand, and I'm pulling with my fingers and my arms. So I'm pushing and I'm pulling. This is our short number 4. Now let's make it a tall number 4. Re-interlace our fingers on the other side on our calf, again using our strap if we can't reach. This time, allow the tailbone to come up as you pull your left leg a little closer to you. So we're getting a big stretch on the right outer hip and glute. Our low back is also stretching. And now we get to use momentum as we start to rock and roll, massage your spine. Eventually get so much momentum that you come up to sitting tall. Your right foot is down, and so we twist to the right, looking over our right shoulder. I know I use a lot of the same cueing and words. I do that on purpose for our stretch because it doesn't change every week for the most part. I also have done this so many times with my son that now that he's off at college, he says he can hear my words, he can do it just from repetition because we do get a whole lot of good stretching in a short amount of time. We reach forward with our arms now. We're going to do a double teaser today. A single teaser would be one leg. Stay with one leg if you like, or two legs, and we roll down. As we roll down, it's with control. Our right leg crosses over our left, and we take our left foot, walk it to the outer edge of the left side of our mat, and allow our knees to collapse to the right. All right, so from here, this is the first time that we're stretching our low back in this sort of way, meaning our thoracic back normally is what we twist. We're actually twisting the low back, so be careful if you have low back issues. Hands can be palms up, palms down, or interlaced behind your head, whichever feels good. If you would like additional PNF type work with this, what you would do is take your top leg and press down, and your bottom leg pushes up, and that's your contraction, and then you release. So it's a push and a pull. If that doesn't make sense, just hang out here. And as we release this time, we're taking our knees up towards the ceiling again by walking that foot in. Let's hug one knee in, hug the other knee in, and we're going to the other side. So I'm changing my body just so that you can see, but you don't have to. We're taking our strap and placing it around the left ball of the foot. So when you think about ball of the foot, just find the meatiest part of your foot. That's where you're putting your strap. Right knee is bent, and start to Gently pull the leg a little closer to you. Less cueing on this side. We're repeating everything. Inhaling and exhaling for 3. Last one. Opening the left leg to the left. Connecting your mind with your inner left thigh. Seeing if you can pull those left toes a little bit closer in the direction of your left ear. Third exhale. Leg goes back to the ceiling. We switch. Hands slide. Left shoulder stays engaged with the mat as we cross our midline. Final rotation and big stretch. Leg comes back to the ceiling. Slide the right foot back in, and we're taking the strap onto the toes now. Gently pulling the toes towards the face. At the same time, pushing the heel up towards the ceiling. Find your Achilles in this. Up the calf, up the hamstring. You may even find it all the way in your glute. If you take your tailbone and keep your tailbone grounded into your mat, you may find it all the way up into your glute too. We're removing our strap as we point and flex. Circles in one direction, circles in the other. Reaching out behind our calf or our thigh, maybe even to your ankle if you feel like it. Head, neck, and shoulders down if you'd like. Or if you want that added stretch between the shoulder blades, you can take your knee up to your nose. Remembering our big inhales and exhales, although this one is tough because everything's all wadded up if you're in the upper position. And as you roll down for that short number 4, we're taking our left ankle over our right knee, lifting the right foot up. We've got interlaced fingers behind our right leg and gently pressing out with our left elbow. Let's see if we can push and pull. So I'm pushing with my left elbow and I'm gently pulling my legs closer into the direction of my chest. Pushing and pulling. You can have flexed feet or relaxed feet. We're taking a tall number 4 now, re-interlacing our fingers behind the calf and allowing that tailbone to come up. If you have enjoyed this stretching, but you'd like a little bit more, please join us on Fridays at noon where we do a full Get Stretched class. We can go slower, deeper, longer, just by virtue of having so much time, and we really dedicate all of it to hitting every little bit of our bodies. And now let's start to rock and roll, use that momentum, eventually come all the way up. This time we naturally have our left foot down, which means we twist to the left and look over our left shoulder. Hand can be up or down, but we're trying to get that spinal twist. As we go forward here, we have either a one-legged teaser or 2. We're rolling down with control. Left leg comes over right. Walk our right foot out to the outer edge of our mat. and knees collapse over to the left, which means that the inside of our right foot is what's on our mat now. And this again is the lumbar or lower back stretch. Both shoulders are down, chest is aimed up towards the ceiling, ribs are aimed up towards the ceiling. The only thing in rotation is your lower back. You can do the push-pull with your legs, or just breathe in and out one more time. As we take our knees to the ceiling, let's walk our foot in. We always want to start back in a centered position, hugging one knee in, then the other, and rolling up. You can use momentum if you'd like. From here, let's come to kneeling, holding onto your strap overhead. I've got my knees about as wide as my silhouette hips. I'm going to go over to the left with my hands. My hips will jut out just a little bit to the opposite side. This is moving our spine laterally. I'm getting a big stretch through my right ribs and then back to the other side. So we didn't do mermaid today. That's where we typically get a lot of lateral movement in, but we don't always get mermaid in. Know that if you're new to this class, there are some elements that remain the same every week, and then there are other elements, like today we didn't do the side lying series. Sometimes we do that. There's different moves that we put in every week. Let's go one more to each side, just getting that lateral opening up on the side here. But it's lateral spinal movement is what it is that we're trying to do. From here, we'll lower our straps down, and without touching any piece of furniture, unless we really need to, we're going to either place our hands on our head or shoulder so that we can step up and not use anything to help us. We step in, face one another, little tiny balance at the end here, friends. We'll put heels together, toes apart, lift up, keep your heels together. How balanced can you be just moving your shoulders? 3 big circles back and 3 big circles forward. I'm so happy for everyone who joined us on this Monday to start our day off, our week off together. Start our week off together, and I love starting and ending the week with you all. And as I lower down, I'm sending everyone on the screen everywhere lots and lots of love. Thank you for working out with me today. As I've told you many times, it's not like, oh, I have to work out. I get to work out, and I get to work out with you all. So let me unmute, see if anybody has any questions. La, 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 participants. Unmute all. All right, does anyone have any questions?
Leslie,
Thank you, Leslie. You're welcome.
I see that this is recording. When are you going to put it up?
Oh, gosh, did I say anything horrible?
No.
Oh, God. So I don't know. I don't ever know when they're recording or not. I believe, so Kathy pushes that button, I think. I think what happens is it takes about a week, she said, for marketing to get that up. I'd also like to ask her where we go to find those, because I know at one point I had a link and I could find them, but heaven only knows what I did with that link. So I would like to be able to send it out to people or post it or something. Oh, Christina, you're here. I did not know you were here. Hello. So yeah, I think about a week, Iris, before it gets up.
Okay. Yeah, I won't see you on Friday. My son's coming to town for the Jewish holiday, so I'm
okay.
going to be busy.
All right. Well, I think that they recorded a power one recently, and I think that they recently recorded a Get Stretched too. So hopefully those will be up. I'll ask Kathy where to find them.
Yeah, I know she said, but I can't remember.
Okay. Bye, Carol. I saw you wave. Amy, how'd you do?
I loved it. It was great.
Good.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Iris. I missed you.
Okay. I saw your friend, the doctor, Stubby.
Oh, I hope your knee is going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm doing better.
Good. Great.
Thanks.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes. Happy New Year. Lashana Tova.
Yes, Lashana Tova.
Thank you,
Thank
Leslie.
you.
I'll
Thank
be
you.
You and Leslie, I see you're here as well. So.
Thank you. Very
All
nice.
right. Well, if nobody has any questions, I'm going to run away because I have to teach again. And I'm going to grab a bite to eat before I start teaching in a little bit. So,
Thanks,
adios.
Leslie.
You're welcome. And I will see you all, not you, Iris, but I'll see everybody else on Friday, hopefully. All right.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.